Alright troops, 5 burpee tips to help you improve your burpee sessions, burpees technique, and just overall burpee journey. So we'll cut to the chase and we'll just get straight into it. Number 1, the first burpee tip is refine your technique, particularly the push-up. Unfortunately, I see a lot of guys on social media with burpee channels and they are really sacrificing their range of motion with regards to the push-up, which is probably the part of the burpee that you must get right. And what we tend to see is we don't tend to see full extension at the top and chest touching floor, which is a shame because these simple technique adjustments will enable you to achieve higher numbers with regards to those burpee targets. So if you're looking to get your 500 or your 1000 in, you need to adopt strategies which will take fatigue off the shoulders, particularly if you're going fast and the pumps are almost like a piston. So chest to floor takes tension off the shoulders. Full lockout gives you a second to get yourself ready for the next burpee and a wee tiny piece of recovery, which we all know when performing those higher numbers is essential, and that also factors into the pacing strategy. So we need to see full range of motion push-ups, and that means full chest to touch the floor to give the shoulders some relief, and full lockout at the top to provide you with a half second up to a second recovery before you transition into the next burpee. So technique is key. Don't be the Johnny half rep who looks like they are just kind of halfway through a Michael Jackson dance routine. It's not. It's down and up, down and up, full extension. So that's burpee tip number 1. Now burpee tip number 2 is something I stumbled on accidentally. I went to a trampoline arena with my children at one point and I was given a pair of socks. I would suggest people who are always looking to just kind of optimize the whole burpee experience is to try and find yourself a pair of these socks. This will probably sound a wee bit crazy, but these are excellent for burpees, particularly if you're doing them indoors like I do on carpet. They've got a grip at the bottom and they are very light. So they give you that grip on the floor and allow you to make that transition when you're coming back up onto your feet, and provide you with a wee bit of comfort and that steadiness on your feet at the same time. So burpee tip number 2 is try and acquire a pair of socks with gripping at the bottom. You can get these from trampoline arenas, earth play arenas, I don't know what you call them in America or Canada or Australia. But if you can get a pair of these socks, they will make the burpee process flow more beautifully. Try it. You will be surprised at the effect that these have on your burpees. So burpee tip number 2 is get a pair of these socks. They are burpee footwear supreme. Burpee tip number 3 is pacing strategy. The thing with burpees is that they are viewed as a punishment exercise and people try to get through them as quickly as possible. And that's not the case. We focus on technique, form, creating that standard, and injecting a degree of pace into that will make the higher numbers more tolerable and relieve some of the stress which comes with trying to achieve those higher numbers. So how do we achieve pacing strategy? The stomach strike is a good port of call. If you inject a stomach strike, that will give you that extra second to get yourself back into position, to get your awareness back, to make sure that technique is adhered to. It will strengthen the core, get the abs tight, activate the glutes, make sure the lower back's safe as we transition into the next burpee. Other methods that we can use to pace is running on the spot between burpees. We can also do a wee quick star jump, something that just gets us ready to go for the next one, because we have to keep in mind that it is not a race ultimately. You will have challenges that you'll set yourself to measure progress. However, ultimately the number, the target, the rep target is the most important thing in your burpee journey, having the mental strength to get there. So it's essential that pacing is utilised effectively to ensure that we can get to that place more easily, which kind of flies in the face of a lot of things I promote why making it hard, but you get the point. So pacing strategy is essential. Burpee tip number 4 is do not focus exclusively on burpees. Now, always include burpees within your journey. Obviously, there's the specificity that you have to adhere to get better at the chosen activity. However, a mistake I made was I always focused on the burpee when I should have been utilising other calisthenics techniques within the burpee to get my overall fitness up and my ability to endure. Now, the best way to do that is something I've already alluded to in one of my earlier videos, is to try circuit style training, particularly the Iron Wolf cardiovascular punishment routines. They are awesome for building overall fitness. You can incorporate burpees in that circuit. They are very tough, however they build the fitness and, more importantly in my opinion, the mental strength and endurance to complete that routines that these burpees demand. So do not focus exclusively on burpees. Include Iron Wolf cardiovascular punishment routines or something similar to that effect. Make your own ones up and do them a couple of times a week minimum. They will have profound benefits on your burpees overall. Number 5 is you need to come up with tests and challenges to measure progress, and you also need to come up with training blocks and programs to enable you to achieve good times on those targets. And this is where something like the Busy Dad training program comes in. For example, just off the top of my head, first goal should be 100 unbroken. So how do you get there? Do you get there by just doing 100 burpees? No, you need to take a more systematic approach. And one I would always recommend is breaking 100 into sets. So 4 sets of 25 and reducing recovery times throughout the block. So week 1 would be 4 sets of 25 with 30 seconds recovery between sets, and reducing the recovery period by 5 seconds on a weekly basis and building up to 10 seconds recovery, 5 seconds, and then finally going for that unbroken. These are more systematic approaches which will ensure you achieve your burpee goals and hit those milestones which give you the extra confidence to get those higher numbers and just get really, really good at burpees, which is going to increase your overall fitness, your ability to engage the dark place, and so on. So that is 5 burpee tips off the top of my head that I will share with you guys to ensure that you hit those numbers, that you excel at this amazing exercise, that you create the physique that you crave, that you actually have something to go along with that physique, something that is show and go as opposed to all show and no go, which we know is definitely something that's a big issue in this fitness community, particularly the aesthetic side or the social media side, where we only see snippets of people's training. So there you go, that's 5 tips that I'm sharing with you to help you get to Burpee Shangri-La. Thank you very much for watching.